Back-to-back 50-point games for Bernard King.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move by Jordan!
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win!
I'm going to give you Larry Bird in his prime or LeBron in his prime.
Larry Bird.
If I said you could have LeBron for 10 years or Larry Bird for 10 years.
Larry Joe Bird.
People always talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round when they made the Magics, the Jordans, the Kobes, and stuff like that. But Larry Bird was cold. Mm-hmm. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him.
Every time somebody puts out a top five that doesn't have Larry in it, I kind of go, what are we doing?
People want to talk about who's the greatest and the GOATs of all time. Y'all will never play against Larry Bird. Larry Bird will give you nightmares now.
Let's talk about Larry the Legend.
Uh-oh.
The resume is long.
I knew Larry Bird before he was Larry Bird. He was Mark Bird's brother.
Randy discovered Mark Bird made a big impact on his younger brother.
I have a chapter called Number 33, and you start reading and think, oh, this is going to be about Larry. No, it's about Mark. And that's why Larry chose that number, because he came to idolize Mark. It's my contention in the book that it was Mark's shooting and Mark developing his own jump shot and Larry shagging the balls and passing them back to Larry, where he developed some of his thinkings about how he wanted to shoot a basketball. He hadn't been going to varsity games. He was too shy, and they made him nervous, and he wasn't that interested at that time, if you can believe that. But he did come to see his brother Mark play.
He writes that Larry Bird started on the junior varsity team as a sophomore in high school, but broke his ankle. He'd recover and eventually play for the varsity in the sectional.
So in his first varsity game ever, he's sitting there. He's what? They've got 12 guys, and he's number 12.
Bill says Bird's drive continued in high school.
From 1 year to be probably the greatest Indiana high school basketball player we've seen in Indiana.
What followed is what we all remember: the greatness, the legend, all beginning with those high school days here in Indiana.
Going back, I never forget driving, and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the streets from El Paso, and I went to UTEP. And we're big rivalries, so I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming, Bird. He goes to the right, Bird. He makes the shot, Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird? Bird. You know, here's Bird, and Bird this, and Bird. Oh, did you see the pass that Bird made? I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. And when the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. Let me tell you something. When I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture, I said, damn. Woo! Larry, it wasn't you know, be honest with you. The young lady that said you were her favorite player? Mine too. I love you too, Magic, but not as much as I like Bird.
When practice is over, you could see Larry Bird out there every day, shooting for another 20 minutes, another half hour. If he didn't get enough running, he'd do some laps. He would just work hard. But above all, he was the most highly self-motivated athlete I ever was connected with. Larry Bird was. Forget the fact that he plays hurt. I saw him one day with a foot that if it was me, I'd be in bed. It was all shiny and infected. He had the doctor come in, cut it, put a bandage on, he went out and played. Unbelievable. He didn't have to play, but that's how those great ones are.
Oh shit, that's the man. Shit, he's like your Magic, your Kareem. You know, that once in a lifetime player, franchise changing player. That's the category that Larry was in, and not to mention, I like the way he led us as a team. He wasn't in your face, you know, that talking trash to you. He led by example. No matter how poorly you playing, Coop, he never got on you. Only thing he would say to you, you know, try to pick it up if you can. You know, you had one of them nights, but things just not going your way. He always spoke, you know, with encouragement. He never tried to put players down. And I always respected that about Larry.
I thought that was one of my early experiences with him. I was like, okay. Back then, you score on a play, you just keep running it again until they stop it.
His shot was just so like perfect.
Bird was what, 6'9" and shot that bitch behind his head.
Talk shit to you too.
Man, I'm gonna keep this real with y'all, man. My ass got busted real early, man. So the great Larry Bird, I didn't really know much about it. You know, I'm from Indiana, Larry's from Indiana. I knew about the history of Larry, but I didn't realize how he really got down.
One thing you got to give Larry Bird, he could be red hot or ice cold. He never stopped talking trash. Ever. Ever. Ever.
I like people to talk shit to me, cause it is what it is. I don't hold no grudges. I ain't got no feelings about it. It makes me even better. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
Bird talk shit like we talk.
Let me tell y'all something. Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit.
X-Man told a story on Tim Thomas and Scoop Beats podcast about Larry Bird talking shit to you, saying, I'm the best motherfucker from Indiana, and put a 3 into my balls. That's true?
It is very true, man. They came out with that morning they came out with a USA Today article, and they said that Larry didn't have it no more. When we got to Boston that morning, we started the night against Larry. And I was like, well, damn. I'm all for it, though, you know? So So he came out that night to make a statement. Well, first of all, he asked me at the jump ball, he said, "You the cat that broke all my records in high school, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Yeah, you're the one that used to dunk my brother too, right? Like Eddie." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me."
Well, I mean, Larry was a quiet guy, and he wasn't like a loud and obnoxious personality, but he had a great sense of humor, and he was a character.
Was there one guy in particular you said, "Oh man, I don't want to have to check him. He was just the toughest guy to guard every night"?
The one I really hated to guard was Larry Bird.
Larry Joe Bird.
He was not a nice guy.
Mark Aguirre used to tell me as a Maverick, "You can't believe what Larry Bird does to me. He just terrorizes me. He trash talks me like nobody's ever trash talked me. He leans over into my ear and whispers stuff I can't even repeat to you. And he backs it up."
Most of the time, his trash talking, it seemed like it was for motivation. It wasn't like he was just always trash talking to everybody. It was spotty, but when he did it, it was big.
Before the game, he told me, he was like, he just shook his head at me. He said, "Man, it's going to be a fucked up night for you."
So what did he put up?
I think he gave me, I think he gave me 46 and 3. He gave me 50 and 3/4.
Please don't put me back in there with that white guy. Please, whatever you do. It was the first time in my life I was ever scared to be go into a basketball game.
Oh my!
He was hitting everything.
Man, and he talked to me the whole entire game. That's how cold Larry Bird was.
He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats, and we always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. The shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold.
So, being from the streets, man, I was to the point of like, look, I'm going to foul him so hard that he's basically going to take his will. He started shooting the ball with his left hand, man. I was trying to foul his right arm. He was shooting with his left hand.
What'd you do?
Man, I hadn't fouled out, but I was on his ass. I'm going to tell y'all this, man. I'm going to tell you this, man. I was on it. He was actually calling out bank shots. He would say, next time, bank shot left side. I'm going to pump fake you. Your dumb ass going to go for it.
He would tell you that, and it happened.
I mean, he had a whole nother level of confidence than I ever was able to accomplish and achieve.
I'm going to take you over to this corner. I'm going to dribble 2 times. I'm going to hit your ass in the face, and it bet not touch the rim. That's how Larry Bird used to get at.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, Larry Bird was the coldest shit talker ever, man. And he bagged it up because he was so cold.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? So ask people about him. Motherfucker used to tell you, "Boy, you can't do shit with me. I'm too motherfucking good for this."
Wow.
Why don't you come work out with me? Come to All-Star game, man.
That's dope.
Let me see that summer. I was like, shit, that meant everything to me.
Yeah, that's dope.
You guys became friends after
Absolutely,
that. To this
man.
day?
Absolutely. So it went from him whooping my ass to him teaching me a few things. I surely appreciate it.
That's dope.
And that's the old NBA. That's how it used to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Larry Legend.
Straight up.
Larry Bird was a great trash talker. He's like, "Charles, y'all better get this old man off me." I'm telling you, he's just roasting Doc. Yeah. He's like, and this was Doc last year, I think. And he's killing Doc. And he's like, "Chuck, I'm telling you for the last time, you better get over here because I'm going to kill this old man." Up and down. And Larry just killing him. And Doc had just had enough.
Let's give Larry Bird profound respect. When you could play, first of all, when Larry Bird sat up there and said he didn't see color, I want everybody to know it was truly believable in the black community. Everybody looked it up. Oh, we believe that because Larry Bird didn't care. You could either play or you couldn't. And I'm going to tell you something else. When he got into that fight with Dr. J, folks in the black community weren't mad at him. They respected him for it because we found out why. And then we found out it's because Bird said, "I'm going to hit this J right here. I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna put this in your face right here. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that to you." And then he did it. We were like, "Oh, that's why he hit you? Oh, well, damn, Doc, something wrong with you. You should have stopped him." That's how we were thinking about it. We like, and we know we love Julius Erving, but you couldn't take anything away from Bird. Bird was a bad somebody.
Did you guard Bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Successfully? No.
And I get in, Chuck Daly has me starting one time, and Larry looks around and goes,
All right, guys, whatever we're running, forget it. 4 down, 4 down.
what's up, Sal? I said, nah. He goes, you on me? I said, yeah, I got size on you right now. I've been watching every move. He goes, y'all not double teaming?
John Sally told us a similar story the other day.
And he's looking around. He goes, yo. I go, nah, it's just me, fella. He goes, mouse in the house.
When he was here, he said that he didn't say 4 down. He screamed mouse in the house.
Mouse in the house, and they change the play, and he catches the ball. He does this, and he shoots it. He says, Sal, you better ask for a double team, bro.
Basically, you need reinforcements.
Yeah. As a competitor, I mean, he was a killer.
Coming into the league, I always looked at Larry Bird. I was like, okay, he's really good, but how good is he? I'm a rookie. We play the Boston Celtics. And guess who has to guard Larry Bird at four position? So I'm like, yes. see what's up with this guy. So Larry gets me ISO'd on the wing. He just kind of looks at me, right? So he gives me the 1, the 2, and I was like to myself, all right, here it comes. He raises up, he shoots it. I jump to the moon. Nothing. Tap his hand like that, right? So when I come down, I turn back and I look real quick. All I see is the ball going through. Boom! 3, right? It gets me out on the wing again. So he jabs straight, looks at me again. It's the look of, what are you doing? Like, that's how Larry's looking at me, like, who are you? Kind of thing, right? So I shade to the right. Same move. 1, 2, same result. Swinging with everything I got. Hit his hand on the release. I look back. Ball. Boop, another 3. So Larry Brown calls a timeout, and Larry can see, I'm flustered. I'm a little bit. Larry taps me. He's like, listen, kiddo, the guy's a great player. Don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. And then he subs me out.
Don't lose sight of Larry Bird.
I failed.
And that's all we're ever going to be.
8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times the Celtics have won.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions. Until we beat the goddamn Celtics.
We're playing in the Forum, and this particular play down, it was a timeout, and they're coming down, and Larry gets me at the top of the key, and he's walking me underneath his basket. He goes, Coop, I'm ready to wear your ass out. What? Okay, I get down to my best defensive stance. He goes down the lane, he comes off the left side, and Robert Parrish sets a pick.
Great picker.
Come off, and we knew the play. We knew what was coming up, and Kareem was ready. And as Larry comes off the pick, shoulder to shoulder with Parrish, and I'm trailing behind him, he catches the basketball right about the elbow. And he gets the ball, and he goes up, and Kareem stops him from turning the corner. Larry catches the ball, he goes up in the air, and here I come. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to smash this shit, man. So I jump up, and I got my hand, and I don't know how Larry got this ball between Kareem and I. Because Kareem had his hands up. I'm coming with my right hand, and he hit a great pass. Like I said, I don't know how he got it to him. Hits Robert Parrish for a roll to the basket, and Robert dunks it. And Larry looks over his shoulder at me and he laughs. He said, I told you, motherfucker. And you know what?
Someone asked me the other day, they said, it's the toughest arena you had to play in. And I said, Garden, Boston. And so why? Because of the air conditioning, they turn it on in the winter and they turn the heat on in the summer. I said, yeah, all of that. I said, but please, let's not forget how incredible Bird and the Celtics were in their prime. I said, they were almost impossible to go in there and beat. And they said, why? I said, because you could not make a mistake with them. If you turn your head or you don't rotate right on time or whatever it was, those guys made you play. And it was him. He was a savant on the court, just a savant, 2 plays ahead on everything. And so I was just talking about this maybe 3 or 4 days ago, how hard it was to go into Boston and beat a team when Bird is in his prime.
Never before and never again will there be such a team. 11 Hall of Famers, the most magnificent assemblage of athletic talent ever gathered together on one roster in any sport at any time. Its mission? To reclaim for the U.S. the Men's Olympic Basketball Championship.
Getting off the plane and I see a sign and it says Mr. Bird and Mr. Weber.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no way. And so I get in the car and it's Larry fucking Bird. And I shake his hand. I'm quiet, trying to feel that balance in the car and everything. And it's the old school limo sitting in the back. And when we get out, he doesn't say much. But when we get out, he goes, hope you get your sleep tonight because I'm going to bust your ass tomorrow.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to say, but I knew this is a moment you have to say something. Like you can't. And I was like, Larry, your back is already hurting, man. You need to take it easy. And then I run to the room and I call my father. I'm like, Dad, Larry Bird was just talking shit to me. He knows me and he's talking shit.
You missed Bird by a couple of years, I think, didn't you? 2 years?
I missed him by 1 year. The year that I came in, he had just retired, I think, a year and a half. But I got to play against him in the Dream Team that last year of his healthy basketball. And I'm telling you, like, we wanted to going into there. I wanted to see Barkley. He was my favorite player. Jordan and Bird. It was those three by far, heads and shoulders above the rest. Magic as well. But we wanted to see Bird and to be able to practice with him, see how he worked out, see how he shot, see the junk that he talked constantly. I mean, it was one of the best moments in your life because you are with guys and pillars of the game that changed it like that.
Well, the one thing about it was the first pro team ever put together playing Olympics. Now, there was some Jerry West, Oscar and them were in college when they played.
We're just real honored, that we get a chance to play against them. A lot of us we've looked up to a lot of these players, Magic, Jordan, since we've been young, and it's a big honor to play against them, since his dream come true, sort of. I'm going to learn a lot from them, and that's good. I'm here to get all I can from them, and I'm going to learn a lot and get a lot of experience from playing against those guys, which is going to make me better next year. A lot of those people that I've looked up to, Barkley, Malone, a lot of those people talk confidence, and I listen to that, and I'm going in there with a lot of confidence. I'm not going to be intimidated in any way, no matter how much they dog me. So I'm just going in there and have a lot of fun, and I'm going to uphold. I'm going to hold my own.
One thing that's so interesting to me is the fact that you got to play in this select team, and you get to scrimmage against the Dream Team.
Yeah.
And that's one of these deals, like when The Last Dance came out and there was some scrimmage footage, like I wish I had some footage of that scrimmage because y'all had some ball players on your team, college kids who are big names now, but you're playing the Dream Team. And I'm kind of wondering when you walk in that gym, what it was like. Like, were you guys getting mean mugged? Were dudes saying, "What's up? I'm Larry Bird," or were they like, "Hey, fuck you, kid"? Like, what was it like?
We were like, it was a gym where you could look over at the players playing, and we got off the bus and we knew it was time to practice, and we're looking over, and I just remember like just fear. Like, this is the moment. It was great. It was the mix of emotions: fear, being happy, your dream is coming true, you're about to get annihilated. What's going on? And so I remember being in the huddle with damn near tears in my eyes, man. Like, this is our moment. It was one of the best times of my life. Stardom. And I remember, first of all, going there with Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, I mean, all of us, Penny Hardaway, all of us who were there, and I kept calling us the crash test dummies. Because I'm like, guys, listen, we're supposed to be in the Olympics this year. They stopped that. Basketball is about to reach a new era. This is the greatest team ever. And they want us to come sit in the car and run up against the wall and see how hard it hurts to play against these guys.
Chuck Daly had scheduled a scrimmage against a select group of college players, a group thrilled to be facing off against their idols.
I found out today I might be picking up Magic a little bit full court, so, things are just happening for me. It really, really makes me happy.
Bobby Hurley was dominant.
My whole thought process was don't embarrass yourself
And that was like the theme for me, like just hang in there.
The one weakness they could have had, which is defending against quick guards.
I did have some success penetrating and collapsing the defense, and our energy, our excitement to play, all those things played in our favor.
Bobby Hurley wanted to see how quick he was playing against Magic. I mean, it really was Bobby getting in the lane, Bobby hitting us with, I mean, it was, I don't know if there was ever a more pure or better basketball day for myself or for any of those guys, because we were in a dream.
Chris Webber was a man. I thought, boy, that's the guys come this league, I could get out of here.
The next day, it's been the only time in my life I've been in a scrimmage and my team did not score in the whole quarter.
The tables were turned drastically. We showed them why we are who we are. We pretty much beat them by 100.
They couldn't score.
The next day in practice, first we didn't score a bucket. We didn't score a bucket. That's when I really knew it was a difference in the NBA and college. They would smacking the floor, talking shit to us like it was a championship game. Again, we were all there playing against our favorite player. You know, you got to realize it was Stockton and Bobby Hurley and Grant Hill and Jordan. It was all of our favorite players.
That was a real team, a group of real good guys that really cared what they was trying to establish over there. And I think in our own way, we made basketball around the world a lot better.
You and I, brother, we came in together from college. It was a joy, man, to be alongside of you. I know your back was hurting. You didn't want to play. I called your butt up, and I said, you gonna play. We needed this thrill one more time.
The game of basketball is pretty simple if the ball's moving.
Sure.
Now, the point guard can do whatever he wants to do. Instead of dribble from one side to the other, back and forth. But he's an initiator, and if he gets that ball moving, that ball's moving, everybody feels a part of it. It doesn't matter where it ends up, because it's always going to end up to the best player. You know? Sometimes that always happens.
Yeah.
But
ball has energy.
That's right, and you get that ball moving, and good things happen all the time. It's a pretty simple game if you play it the right way.
Larry Bird couldn't play in today's era. Larry Bird is a better player than Luka Doncic. And Luka's killing. You telling me Bird wouldn't dominate?
This is so offensive to me. And here we go again. So I have to restate the case of your favorite player growing up, Larry Joe Bird, as a Boston Celtic. And I love me some Pete Maravich, especially when he was at LSU, but he wasn't quite this guy.
No, he wasn't this.
You can make a case, baddest white boy who ever played.
I will give you that. Yeah, he's the greatest white ball player ever, Skip. When people say Luka is the closest thing, they're saying close, like Earth is to Mars. But no, Luka ain't Larry.
No.
Handles, Luka. Shooting Bird, passing Bird, rebounding Bird, speed Bird, IQ Bird. Let's stop with the comparisons here. This is hurting my ears. Skip.
Is it?
I mean, I don't even know, like, can we stop with this? Luka's carving out his own niche. I mean, he's been first-team All-NBA for about 4 times, and, you know, he could win a championship this year. You know, he's on his way to being an all-time great. But we're talking about one of the top 5 or 10 players to ever play the game. Can Luka get there?
I'm going to give Luka this. He has a gift for scoring the basketball in the lane. unlike any I've ever seen, because he's got this herky-jerky style that is hard to mirror on defense. It's off rhythm. It's crazy. It's like it's hard on your ears. You know, like it's hard on your eyes and your ears because there's no rhythm to it whatsoever. But he's much stronger than he looks, because he doesn't even look like he's in shape to me. But he plays with grown man strength in the lane, because it's hard to keep him from the bucket, and it's hard to keep him from the free throw line if he gets in the lane. And he gets in the lane on everybody. Nobody can keep him out of the lane. So he has that first step weird quickness that's hard to sort of calculate it. It's hard to explain it, but he can get a step on you anytime he wants, because he has rare handles. Does he make his teammates as great as Larry made his teammates? He does not.
But Bird was a different type of player. You know, he didn't handle at the top. He didn't go through pick and rolls. He was like one or two dribbles, and he gonna knock it down.
Yeah.
And he was as great as Luka is a passer. I think Bird was better. Bird 3 straight MVPs.
To win 3 consecutive MVPs, there've only been 3 guys to do that. Wilt, Russell, and Larry. Larry was the last one to do it, and you mentioned the years. 84, 85, 86.
He did.
I mean, Bird came in and he changed the game. He made us watch basketball.
First of all, he could execute under pressure.
I'll take Larry Bird any day of the week in the last 2 minutes.
Larry Bird was 6 feet 9 inches tall.
Was an elite rebounder.
Well, he averaged 10 for his career.
Yeah, he averaged 10 for a career, which is it's tough to do.
This guy not only was good, he was tough.
Then we get down to what are you made of? Because, Keyshawn, you're still not exactly sure what Luka is made of. I can tell you what Larry Bird was made of. We're talking about Jordan-esque cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
That's who he
100%.
was. Cold-blooded killer on the basketball court.
Larry Bird has beat every team I've ever cared about.
This guy was assassin.
He got him in the era with Magic, Kareem, and Jordan. Now, you told me Jordan ran the 80s, but I know a white guy that could not run a snail. And could not jump Ash.
Yeah.
And Ash got 4 left feet.
Bird looks slow. Luka is slow. Then when you go and you look at what we all talk about, the biggest weakness for Luka and all that he does is play the other end of the floor.
Yeah.
Bird made all defensive team 3 times in 6 years. Luka got 0. So you can't.
And he will probably always
have 0.
Yeah.
So there you go. That landslide already shifts all the way over to Larry Bird. Then All-Star games, he's up on him. Conference appearances, he's up on him. Titles, he's up on him.
He was just better.
Larry Bird is so incredible. And every white dude with a jump shot is not Larry Bird.
It should be an honor for Luka to just be mentioned in the same breath as Bird. I mean, that means he's going places.
I've never done anything important. Well, except for when I beat Larry Bird for a Big Mac. Waddle over to get it, slip on a towel, twist my ankle, go to the emergency room.
Off the floor, off the scoreboard, off the backboard, no rim.
I make him give me a cast anyway, never play sports again. Hey, I won the $2 sandwich.
Jokic versus Larry Bird.
Bird posted left, takes the jumper and hits it again. Backs in, posted up Bird, takes the jumper and hits it.
Damn.
Takes it and drills it again. He's unbelievable. Bird on the drive, the floater is good. Down low for Bird with position, he fakes it and shoots it good. Bird out of the left corner, the bomb is good. Off the pick comes Bird for the bomb. Got it again. Off to Bird for the open 20-footer. It's good. On the left wing, Wedman down low Bird. He gets away from the steal, the layup is good. Posted up Bird. Takes the jumper and hits it. Bird Shoots the jumper right side, good. Bird posted left. Takes the jumper and hits it again. Bird, who feels it and takes it. And drills it again. Bird will try another jumper.
Damn.
Third. Bird for the bomb. Got it again. 2-on-1 with Bird. Bird's layup is good. Bird with 8 seconds. Bird on the drive. The runner is good again. Bird with 8 seconds. Bird on the drive. The runner is good again.
Damn, Dominique, you getting all that?
Yeah.
Bird the follow away, tough shot, and he drills it again. He stubbed his toe. Right corner, Bird bomb, good. They open the right side. Bird the follow away, he drills it again.
I just never seen anybody hit shots like that down the stretch.
They want him to keep scoring too.
Bird takes the jumper and hits it again. There's Bird. Bird, 14 seconds, he got fouled. He hit the shot. Larry Bird. Bird has 60 points.
Jokic versus Larry Bird in their prime.
Larry Bird. What more can you say? Larry Bird. Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Dennis Rodman, Basketball Hall of Famer, was on Vlad TV. And apparently he's up to his old ways.
You know, Dennis Rodman, during our interview, he said that Larry Bird, if he was playing today, he'd be playing for Europe.
Larry Bird playing this era, I think he'd be in Europe. And but I'm saying, no, that's no way.
How do you get in the headlines or in the news? Then you come out and say something negative about Larry Bird.
This is absolutely absurd. That's just ridiculous. Like, he said he would be in Europe, so maybe he meant he would go on vacation. Larry Bird doesn't strike me as someone who takes a lot of European vacations either. Other than that, I don't know what Dennis Rodman is talking about.
That's like when he said that shit back when the Pistons was playing the Celtics.
Yeah, I actually brought that
said
up.
that thing
And
about
he,
Larry.
he even said, well, I didn't really, he said I was young and just talking my shit.
Well, he's still talking his shit. He's still just as stupid.
If Larry Bird was a black guy, he'd just be another black guy.
Oh, Dennis said it.
Right.
He's a good player, but he's it's basically because he's white.
Nobody thought that any white kid was going to become an NBA superstar.
He got a lot of flack for that.
How dare you?
The funny thing about it is just the fact that, you know, Rodman was in his feelings.
I think Larry has like a triple-double, like, you know, he torched Rodman, right? So Rodman's all upset, and anybody who knows Rodman.
Emotional.
Right, you know, so they give him the mic, and he says what he says.
I saw him talking to Dennis, but I don't know what Dennis is saying something to him, he's saying something to Dennis.
Larry Bird and Isaiah are cool.
The admiration that we all have for you, Larry.
And they did a press conference right after that. Oh, good.
Rodman was talking about Bird.
This is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman was talking about Bird.
What the problem was, Isaiah kept talking.
Larry, you had my career right in the palm of your hands. Had you handled that press conference differently, you could have just like, psh.
When Larry got up and walked out, Isaiah should have got up and walked out. But Isaiah said, I looked up the word racist in the dictionary.
What'd he say?
Stop. Don't let them know you read. Don't let them know you read, brother. Keep it to yourself.
And Bird let him off the hook because they both said something really stupid, especially Dennis. If he was a black player, he'd be just another player.
We all know who Rodman is and was.
God almighty. The history of Dennis Rodman has clearly told us who he is.
Really?
And Rodman, still today, you put a mic in front of him, you don't know, right?
His game was fit for Boston at that time in the 80s and stuff like that, you know. But today's world, oh hell no, there's no way. I'm not downplaying him because he's a great player at that time, just like I was. And but I'm saying no, there's no way.
The blasphemy coming out of your mouth right now.
I was that ignorant black player who played against Larry Bird for the first time, and I'm thinking, this white boy can't play. He's got to be the great white hope. Come on, it can't be real. And after about 30 minutes, and me and him going back and forth, and I was averaging 20 and 10 before he got here. I remember walking off the court to the first black person I could see. I said, you know what? That fucking white guy can play down there.
I know he walked out on the court one time. Somebody said, "No, get this white boy on me. He can't guard me."
and Larry served him. So I said, let me see what he can do.
But Larry had something that most white boys don't have. Just say that. Just keep it real.
Man,
Larry was different now. Larry was different now.
He had a little bit of nigger in
Yeah,
him.
he was different now. He was different now. Larry was different now.
That boy, he can play, man. I see this guy, blonde hair, I said, all right, let me see if he can play.
Okay.
Man, I'm sitting there watching him shoot, Shannon. He must have made 30 in a row all net. This dude can play.
Okay.
Because, brothers, we always say, okay, can the white dude really play?
Correct. Right.
So then I said, oh, man.
When you gonna let these people know you're a black guy from Indiana? When you gonna do that? Stop this whiteness. What are you doing?
Dominique Wilkins and Charles Barkley and every black player who played against him says, shut the F up. You have no idea what you're talking about.
I respect Dennis. A lot of respect Dennis. Know Dennis well. He's a good dude. But that's delusional.
That fucking white guy can play. that was it.
So we stretching, right? So the whole team is just stretching, and Larry just walks on the court, like grabbed the ball and started jacking threes, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, do y'all see this right now? And he made like at least 10 in a row threes. Like just walked in, came in, looked at us, and was like, looking at us stretch and hit like 10 threes in a row and walked off and sat like he ain't do nothing. Like it was regular and folded his legs and just sitting there looking at us. I'm like, this guy's nice.
It was after practice, right? And we were shooting around and he's walking out. To this point, I've never seen him play. Like I've never seen him shoot. I always had this vision of him from, YouTube videos and old clips like that. We're shooting and he's like walking out of the gym about to leave, but the ball rolls over to him. So he picks the ball up, bro, shoots that motherfucker cash from 3. And he's in slacks, button down. Right. He got his loafers on. He could have that up and airballed. And then I would have just had this whole different mindset about who he was. Right. Like, this motherfucker was not like that.
Yeah. Did he say anything to you after he made it?
No, bro, cashed that motherfucker, bro, and just walked out. Like, didn't say shit. Just walked out of the gym.
I am who I am.
Larry Joe Bird.
Larry Bird was the truth. Ain't no question about that.
So this is your first time meeting Larry was this year?
And they posted it, and I was like, you go to the gym in the morning, and I just throw on a hoodie, shorts, and my flip-flops. Yeah. My toes was out. They put it on Instagram. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Meet Larry Bird, my toes out? That's nuts.
So three-point trend has exploded over the last decade with the league average more than doubling between the 2011-2012 season and now. But I need to know, because it's watching and we talk about viewership, we talk about the state of the game.
I blame the coaches for this era.
Because Mike D'Antoni didn't want you shooting mid-range shots. He wanted you to score a layup or shoot from 3.
Now, this is the problem.
That the NBA is out of balance. You're in a better spot when there's more of a balance, where the three-point shot is part of the game, not the entire game.
I want balance in a basketball game. And I think that is what the three-point shot has taken us away from.
So not because y'all are coaching your team, you are watching your players.
Mm-hmm.
You know who the fuck can shoot and who can't shoot.
Yes.
You go and practice every day, and I'm pretty sure, hey, don't shoot that shit. Why you don't say that in the game? Like, there's no way some of these guys are shooting this many threes. Like, y'all are not shooters like that. Like, 3 for 15. 0 for 6, like you didn't stop at 0 for 3, 1 for 5, 1 for 7.
The way it used to go, you would put the film on, right? And it'd be all the misses. You put go. And it'd be every single fucking miss.
Why'd you shoot that? Imagine Antonio Daniels shooting
drive threes. Ain't nobody in front of you.
But Antonio Daniels know not to shoot threes.
There you go.
Our point exactly.
He knows not to shoot 13 threes. These guys think they can shoot threes. You can shoot. We talk about making them.
Shooting the ball 21 times, yes. But 15 of your 21 shots are threes?
And you're not a shooter.
Why is this person shooting 6 threes? Why is that person shooting 5 threes? Why is this person going 1 for 6? Like, who are you guys that just think they can catch the ball and just chuck it because they're open? You're open for a reason.
Man, he shot 11 threes.
That's what I'm saying. You're open for a reason. There's no reason.
I don't know the others. Who watched?
Like, Klay Thompson's not going to have 11 open shots because he's a shooter. If you have 11 open shots, they want you to shoot because they don't want him to shoot. Because y'all are doing the opposite of what Golden State did.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Draymond took 3 attempts a game. Steph took 11. Klay took 8. Barnes took 3. Iguodala took 2. Bogut took none. Sean Livingston didn't take none.
He didn't.
Right?
Never.
Barbosa took 1. Right? Brandon Rush took 2.
I don't understand.
Speaks took under 1. And then McAdoo, they didn't play. Kevin Looney. The rest of the team didn't take fucking threes. Like between Klay and Curry, they took damn near 23s. Them 2.
Yes.
Right? Draymond is open the most. But he wasn't dumb enough to sit there and take 8, 9 threes.
I don't mind taking 15, 20, 30, 20, and I know the math. You make 5 threes. If you take 20 of them, that obviously is equivalent 15 to making 8 twos. So I understand the math, but I want the balance. And I think the NBA has gotten way past the balance and watching guys give up dunks to shoot threes on fast breaks. That kind of thing. I think that has hurt the game a lot. Now, that's me. I am old school, as we all know. JJ, perfect. But, you know, Bird shot plenty of threes. And they had Parrish and McHale. Bird shot plenty of threes. The best. And Bird is one of the great shooters in the history of the sport. Not even close.
Bird shot threes. He never was a volume shooter from 3.
No, I know that. But he was a great three-point shooter. He was not good. He was great. He's one of the top 5 three-point shooters of all time. That's how good Bird is. Oh, yes.
We're not.
Won three-point shooting contests. He was phenomenal. Bird's a great shooter.
Wait a minute, Doggy.
And Bird didn't shoot.
Bird is absolutely one of the greatest shooters ever, but he's not one of the top 5 3-point,
yes,
top 3, whatever
Did you see the three-point shooting that he put on, those clinics that he put on at the All-Star game?
Again,
did you watch?
Doggy, it's just math. It's attempts, it's makes, and it's percentage. And there's no way you could ever argue Larry Bird is a top 3 3-point shooter of all time. You can't make that argument.
You're basing it on math. You're basing it on math and a time of when he played. I'm basing it on just shooting. Bird is an unbelievable.
Again, we had this discussion the other day. We had this discussion the other day about James Naismith. James Naismith invented the game. You were rewarded for putting the ball in the basket. There's plenty of people that have shot more, made more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from 3. I'm not saying Larry Bird is not one of the greatest shooters ever. He's not one of the greatest 3-point shooters ever.
Absolutely.
You cannot make that argument.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Are you kidding?
You're out of your friggin' minds.
Yeah.
Now let me get on you for that ridiculous take that you just spewed to the American public, okay? How dare you show up on national TV and spew the nonsense that you just spewed? I will remind everybody, we are talking to a guy by the name of J.J. Redick. We just listened to one of the most ridiculous takes he will ever give on national television.
How dare you?
Here's the difference.
I'm going to show you
I saw
what
the games,
physical basketball
and I was at the games.
versus
You were
physical
not.
fouling.
You watching them on YouTube. I saw the games. I watched the games at the time. I watched all these games. You didn't watch it. You weren't alive when these games were being played. Did you see Bird play against the Lakers in '84? Did you see Bird against the Rockets in '86? Were you at courtside watching these games? No. You got to watch the games at the time. Okay. Watching them on YouTube 40 years later is not the same at the moment.
So
watching a
let me ask you a question then. When I watch, let's say Steph Curry, for example.
Right.
When I watch Steph Curry off the ball in a playoff game.
Oh, he's great.
Getting grabbed and held by Marcus Smart. They're attached to him at all times.
Right.
Then when I watch Larry Bird come off a pin down and no one's within 5 feet of him and they're shooting the gap. You're telling me one is more physical than the other? You're telling me that's more physical than Steph Curry being grabbed and held for 48 minutes?
He doesn't. They don't call those fouls on Marcus Smart when he holds them and he holds them on those pick and roll. Of course they call the fouls. They protect Curry all the time. Oh, God. He's at the free throw line. He lives at the free throw line. Okay. Everybody wants to be Curry, and that style of play only really is so good with him.
Niggas go on TV and literally just lie. Niggas go on TV.
Oh
and
yeah,
they,
that's obvious.
They don't believe, which I genuinely hate for a nigga like JJ Redick when you have a platform. Like niggas just say shit on TV.
I just got a bone to pick with JJ. He says something. You know, I mean, I think historically, you know, he's been taking shots historically, and so it's like
JJ Redick, this kid here, who's a journeyman, played for 6 different teams. All his accolades came in college, played 15 years in the NBA, was being shifted around from team to team because all he could do was shoot. And he wasn't that great of a shooter. He was a poor man, Danny Ainge.
JJ Redick made some comments also about Bird. He said he isn't a top 5 shooter, and he also didn't have the physicality that you have today, and you responded to that.
He's stupid.
Redick don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm going to
concur.
say it, right?
I agree.
He don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm like, what basketball was you watching? To say something as idiotic as that is ridiculous.
How could you ignore the error and responsibility in the same question? It's not diametrically opposed. The point that I'm trying to make is the error was so tough. That in and of itself harbored a strong level of responsibility.
And for JJ Redick, who played this game, I'm very disappointed.
For him to be saying things like that is just, you're supposed to be a lover of this game or a student of the game. How can you say that about one of the greatest players to ever play this game and not have played against Larry Bird?
This is one of the most skilled players to ever play the game.
You know, I've heard a couple players, you know, like JJ Redick say something stupid, talking about Bird. Bird would mop him up.
I believe that the 80s and 90s basketball was harder than the one now.
I mean, it's a stupid comment because Larry Bird played in the most physical era ever.
Why don't you highlight and crystallize the difference between this game, the way the game is played in this day and age, and the way y'all had to play back in the day?
The game changed in the 80s because it was so physical.
The physicality that was a part of the league. Hey, look, when you can put your hand on a guy's hip and make him go a certain way, if you can put that elbow in his chest to slow him up, which we call slowing a guy up when you coming down the lane, so how many guys can deal with that type of pressure?
I don't care how good they is right now. It's a whole different ball game, bro. But somebody holding on your shorts the whole way to the basket.
Legal. And it's legal.
Come on, man.
David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. You understand? Freedom of movement means freedom of movement. Man, back in the day when you had to get by Paul because Paul was squared up with you and ready to slide, and then he could body you, he could poke, he could use his hands. Man, bro, it's just different. It was very different back then, bro.
Physicality is gone.
Night and day.
So, that guy, man, it's sad because you have to have respect from where this game comes from.
Like, are you kidding me? Larry Bird in this era? Are you kidding me?
These guys really, really get on my nerves. And I'm going to tell you why.
Larry Bird couldn't play in today's era.
He's been more rough, though.
For who?
For Larry.
How?
And it starts.
What you mean?
How?
Just the physical capability.
He's 6'10", dude.
That's a lot of 6'10".
Okay.
Nah, it's a lot of that. That's all I'm saying. He birthed that.
You better watch your mouth. Both of y'all right now.
Like you guys speak your opinion, I'm going to speak my opinion. And I think it's very stupid and selfish of you to even make a comment like that. He's 6'10", almost 6'11", and he was physical himself. To say that he wouldn't be able to play in this league because this league too physical, like what league you watching?
Because that you said don't make no sense.
Bird, who's a big guy, who got bumped all the time, we played around the basket more than guards played around the basket. So I don't understand the logic for him saying that. Larry Bird could play in any era and do the same thing he did in our era. It couldn't handle him. Today's players could not handle him. Period.
Period.
Come on, man.
People really don't give Larry Bird his.
No, people do. He doesn't.
Don't get me wrong, he birthed it. I'm just saying. We hadn't seen it
Who's
then.
going to be matched up against Larry Bird? Karl Anthony Towns.
That's a nightmare, man.
For Karl Anthony Towns. Because that dude can play basketball. Really play basketball.
No, 100%.
Really play basketball.
100%.
Hey, bro, really play basketball.
That's not what the question was.
Hey, really play basketball, and he mean, and he like.
Oh, he talking wild too.
And he mean, and he.
But I'm
and
saying,
he
what
will
is he
chunk
gonna
him
do?
too.
But what is he gonna do with KD?
Yeah, KD is
What is he
unguardable.
gonna
What is
do?
KD gonna do with Bird? Bird is unguardable.
I was just about to ask that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
No, yeah,
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think I want to see
Bro,
what
you
he'll
don't
do
want to
to
see
KD.
that.
I don't think I would.
Fuck out of here. Larry Bird was the truth, man.
Larry Bird
was the truth, man.
Larry Bird would be better in today's NBA, in my opinion, because you're able to shoot the three. He would be shooting 8 to 10 threes per game.
Larry Joe Bird
could score and would score a lot of points because there's not a lot of people who can put the ball in the basket at that frequency. Period.
He made every mid-ranger in the world, and he was a 90% free throw shooter.
Bird had that killer instinct that you just don't see in sports all the time.
Killer instinct, man.
The ultimate killer and assassin.
If the three-point shot was what it is today, back in the 80s, Bird would have scored 50 a game.
Period.
Larry Bird wasn't just a good shooter, he was a great shooter.
He was.
He was a dead-eye, deadly shooter.
And Larry Bird was one of the greatest three-point shooters that's ever played this game. Fuck percentages. It ain't about that. It's about hitting big shots.
And for JJ Redick to say stuff like this, the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. If you throw enough crap on the wall, a lot of it gonna stick.
I was very upset with your Larry Bird take. In fact, I did an hour of radio right after that where I asked our listeners a question. A shot for your life, Redick or Bird, who you choosing? So, JJ, I will ask you that same question, okay? You have a shot. Your life depends on it, and there's only two people that could shoot that shot for you. Yourself or Larry Bird? Who you choosing? Huh? Huh? But
I'm talking about two different things, and I get drawn into it. I'm
Right.
always taking myself. I'm not putting my life in someone else's hands. I'm always going to shoot that shot.
You're dead.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what Stugat says every time. He's like, and JJ Redick, if you choose JJ Redick, you're dead. This does not assume that both you and Larry will make the shot. It's that he will make it and you will miss it.
shot for your life, though. I mean, JJ, you're a great shooter. I'm choosing Larry.
Okay. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Redick says he's better than Bird.
Watch your mouth, man.
How dare you?
The people that are hating on Larry Bird are simply haters. Fans of basketball, especially blacks included, they know the deal. 3-point sniper, basketball IQ off the charts, 3 championships, several MVPs, Hall of Fame, Olympic medalists. Stop it. On their posters on their wall were like, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, a picture of Jesus, and then Larry Bird. Black people talked about Larry Bird. He goes, when you're in black people's homes, you're the real deal. Larry was the real fucking deal.
Why do you think people hate on Larry Bird?
He's white.
I mean, do you think it's the white boy thing? You think that just him being white, he doesn't get the respect?
I don't care what color he is. He can be blue. That's a bad man, period.
Larry plays good for a black guy, white guy, a Martian.
Right, no
You
matter
know
the
what I'm
color.
saying?
He backed up whatever he said. We had our time. It was a great time. It's their time now.
Yes.
But don't crap on us to prove your point.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense and it's not valid. I just don't like to disrespect.
Yeah.
And to say that about Larry Bird, it was
come on.
less physical. Is he stupid?
Back MVP.
It's just a stupid comment to make.
There's always one. Hating on him is like hating on Eminem. They're one and the same. Official tissue, man.
The economy was different.
Yeah.
Then you go and you say, man, you know how hard it take. I have to do this much work, shoot these many shots.
That's a fact.
Get in the gym, this, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And tell him about his routine to be JJ Redick.
Yes.
That makes sense.
No,
So
I mean,
the way I liken it, if JJ Redick had to be a plumber, you know what I mean, or had a job, like you got all this free time to not be a plumber, not be a carpenter, and you JJ Redick. You ain't Jerry West. Right. You should have been Jerry West.
And I know JJ just a little bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. Look, tell me what his career looked like. What did he do that determined games? He averaged what? He averaged 12 points a game?
Please. I do want all these old timers and Oakley and everyone else to say their time is the best time and that you're JJ Redick.
So, and JJ Redick should know that kind of stuff. You know that because you made a living. That's how you got open with Orlando, was guys setting good picks for your ass and you coming off wide open because you damn sure couldn't get open one-on-one and beat anybody. And that was shown when you were with the Clippers. That's why they traded you on to the next team, to say that Steph is getting more contact. Man, that guy has no clue of how basketball was played in the 80s. And I guarantee you this, JJ Redick, if you had played in the 80s, this is Michael Cooper talking, I'd have locked your ass up. You wouldn't have got a shot off. You wouldn't have got nothing off. You had spent more time on the bench than on the floor. When I was on the floor, you couldn't have played when I was on the court.
JJ certainly wasn't going to guard the elite players. He was not an elite player. JJ should be very thankful that he's made as much money as he's made. I just think it's very disrespectful myself.
JJ Redick needs to be quiet and stop trying to compare. I think he's gotten out of this what he wants to, is that his name being thrown around and the attention and all that.
Trying to get their likes and and trying to get their social media likes up and all that stuff. That's all it's about. Because if you knew the game from the inside out, and as a player, you would never say nothing stupid as that.
And JJ saying you're playing against plumbers. Like these motherfuckers these was hoopers. The things that they were doing compared to what you're able to do now, what we know what we can recover with. We got ankle braces and you got Nike shoes and you got, different footing. Like niggas was out there balling in them chucks. Yeah. All right, ain't no footing out there. You get spraining ankles and niggas didn't even know that it was an ACL tear. They were just out there still hooping, putting the wrap around their knee. Yeah. So we did have advantages, but I think that JJ's just trying to subtly discredit.
People with less talent will always try to make a name for themselves by criticizing other people and hopefully getting some attention and perhaps increasing their credibility.
Period. JJ Redick, who's rumored to be one of the top choices for the Lakers head coach position, and the former Celtics star said about Redick, and I quote, "Yeah, man, you hear JJ on podcasts, they draw up plays. It sounds like he has a great IQ, like he has a voice for coaching. It's like an Instagram model. It look good on there, and then you see it in person, it ain't what you think." You know what I mean? I'm familiar about this type of shit. yo, pulpit. Yo, listen, with this
I never say the full quote. I never say the full quote.
That is a wild. They call him the truth. You gotta definitely respect OGs.
And so you can look and appreciate today's players, understand that there's an elevated level of talent because they piggybacked off the talent that preceded them, the pioneers that came before them.
From Magic on to Larry to Mike to Kobe, Shaq, they all helped elevate the game. So I think everybody's done their job.
Are Ant-Man's comments out of bounds?
Edwards was recently asked by the Wall Street Journal how his generation of basketball players compared to the ones that came before him. Edwards replied by saying, quote, "I didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it," Edwards said. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. You know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe Bryant, they were like, oh my God. But now everybody has skill. Look at this from the great Isaiah Thomas himself. First of two tweets. Number one, propaganda works. So be careful what you choose to believe. Here's the second one. They look faster today. He's talking about today's athletes. They look faster today because of the rule change, which prohibits holding and hand checking to impede progress. In football, for example, Wide receivers can play in the middle of the field without fear and rack up more yardage. Today, the rules favor quarterbacks and receivers. I love Ant-Man, but you show your youth, my young brother. Whippersnapper, young whippersnapper, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. You understand?
I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago, if I'm being 100. And this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Nah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back. And then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Straight up.
The locker room was too grown. Real shit. I'm talking about in the locker room. You can't be on your phone in the locker room. Can't. Bro, 20 years ago? Nah, nobody in this era could have played 25 years ago. We said that. And I'm talking about not just the play and all the skill that everybody got, actually was called bad shots and lack of efficiency. It was until they started fucking with all the data and saying take more threes than twos. Before then, we played ball, bro. We didn't give a fuck about all that other shit. And the GM couldn't come down and say, put into a game plan with a coach like Doc or D'Antoni talking about, we trying to get touches and touch the paint. Bro, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's hard to say more skill.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody in this era has a mid-range.
You couldn't get, nobody.
Nobody in this era has a post game. Yeah, they don't.
Try to do it. Okay, young fella, if you hear me. And then y'all exhaust the ball. Y'all are dribbling the air out of the ball.
Right.
Y'all dribble the ball 100 times more than another nigga.
Right.
Catch it off the bounce. One dribble, two dribble, pull up. Let me see you do that off the bounce.
Right.
Let me see your skill work off that. I ain't even known it like this, but you can't come from niggas and not expect a rebuttal on shit. Bro, real shit, it was totally different. And you had to have that work, and you had to really work on your shit. And it wasn't no, you was out 2-3 games, man. Your teammates, hey, bro, what you doing tonight? You going? Nah, I can't go, man. My toenail off, man. I can't. Nah, bro, you can't even come in here and lead no niggas like that. You hear me?
Nah.
So you had to strap it up, and you had to get out here. You had to dive on the floor. You had to get in the rumble. Yeah.
Right.
Real shit. Right. You had, man, it was men leading men.
There are a lot of great players, but there's only a few guys who move the needle. The two most important figures in NBA history are Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are the two most important figures in NBA history. We should always give credit to the guys who came before us. I remember vividly me, Doc, Moses, Bobby Johnson, Andrew Toney, we were in the locker room one day, and it broke that Magic Johnson had been the first NBA player to make $1 million. We were walking around high-fiving each other. We could not believe that an NBA player made $1 million. And I'm like, and I'm with Doc and Moses now, who are all-time greats. They're high-fiving each other. They're like, we can't believe an NBA player making $1 million. That's how crazy it was thinking about money back in the day.
Did you have any idea that you guys were going to put basketball, the NBA, back on the map, and you're going to redefine what the NBA was?
No, Shannon, we didn't know. But what we just did was just played our game. My first final of my rookie season, we're on tape delayed.
Yeah.
The finals.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. The game weren't live.
No, tape delayed.
Tape delayed.
People don't realize that. They don't even know that. NBA Finals was on tape delay. And Shannon, you got one game a week on Sunday.
You did, I remember.
You got one game a week on Sunday. And people now, you can watch a game 7 days a week. We own
all the games.
All the games. I said, no, you don't understand. People look at this thing now where guys are making $30, $40, $50 million. When I came in, it was David Stern's first year. The average salary was $200,000. The average salary now is $10 million. We got 3 NBA players, I think, 3 or 4, making $60 million a year. In the next 5 years, we're going to have guys making 70, 80, 90, 90
Luka will probably be first.
It's going to be crazy.
80 a year, Chuck.
Yeah, 80 a year to play basketball. Magic and Bird, those guys changed the entire trajectory of the NBA and made it what it is today. Because if it wasn't for those guys, nobody would be, y'all making this money because y'all were born at the right time. You're not better than Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell. You're not better than those guys. Just to be appreciative of how lucky and blessed we are to do something stupid and make $1 gazillion. Going back to what we talking about, how respect for the older generation. If it wasn't for Michael, I wouldn't make millions of dollars from Nike a year. LeBron, Kobe wouldn't make millions of dollars from Nike a year. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan, we all wouldn't have commercials. People act like athletes always did commercials. No. Number one, none of us had a shoe deal until Michael. None of us shot commercials until Michael. So whether you want to debate who's the greatest, that guy.
Michael Jordan's been out of the NBA for 16 years. Sold $130 million. He made that much in annual income on shoe sales last year. There's a lot of factors for this. The style, the cool, the logo that's international.
Jordan's brand last year generated over $3 billion. It was almost 10% of Nike's overall sales. That doesn't make any sense.
Man, Jordan was a mogul, man. You got to understand, bro, like, Jordan was the truth, bro.
There's not a more famous person in America that you see less of, except on shoes and logos, than Michael Jordan. If you're great, you're frozen in time.
We should always give credit to the guys who came before us.
Correct.
Always.
Russell Westbrook is the only player in history to win back-to-back All-Star MVPs. Can we see it tonight? What you thinking?
We can, because I ain't going to lie. I met Larry Bird tonight for the first time. I never met Larry Bird in my life, so I got to meet him, and that just gave me, like, I was anxious. So I got some juices flowing for the game right now.
What he means to the game, what he means to the city of Boston and the Celtics, and, you know, he's the ultimate Celtic, so it was an honor to meet him.
Ray, Steph, to win the game.
Oh, I'm going with Larry Legend.
Oh.
I'm going with Larry. I'm sorry.
In the peak of his career, and this is my opinion now, peak of his career, I'll take Bird.
On the line. You know, I'll take Bird.
Our relationship, Shannon, was fractured because Celtics, Lakers.
Right.
See, we hated them, they hated us.
Right.
So we can never be friends.
Right.
And Pat Riley stressed that.
Right.
He said, I don't want, if a Celtic go to the ground, you better not pick him up.
Right.
And so we had to hate him to beat him.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It wasn't until 87 I went out, Converse wanted to do a commercial with both of us.
Okay.
I flew out to French Lick, Indiana, where he's from.
The weapons, the cons.
Exactly. So he had the black one, I had the purple and gold one.
Right.
So we shot about half the commercial, a little bit more, and it's lunchtime. So I'm thinking I'm going to my trailer, because we really haven't broken bread before like this. So as I'm taking about 3 steps toward the trailer, he said, Magic, man, I'd like you to have lunch with me up at the house. My mom has prepared lunch. He threw the mom, you know, my. You know I can't say no.
You can't say no.
He just threw the mom in there.
Okay.
So I go to the house, you know, and he's down there. I'm down here. She's bringing out all the dishes, and she brought that last one and set it down, and she hit him. Said, "Did you tell him yet?" And Larry said, "No, Mom, you tell him." She turned and said, "Magic, you my favorite basketball player." And I just said, "Oh man, thank you, Mom Bird." That was it. And then we started talking,
right?
Like two little boys,
right?
And you know, we're similar. We grew up poor. We're both from the Midwest. We love the game. We love to win. You know, on and on and on. And that's when our friendship evolved and grew, and we've been friends ever since.
The thing that I remember playing for Larry Bird, which I respect so much, Larry Bird was totally secure with who he was as a basketball player and a basketball head coach. He knew his strengths and he knew his weaknesses. He didn't get out of character. He let us be who we truly were.
He coached 3 years. Each of those seasons, the Pacers made it to the conference finals and to the team's only NBA finals.
While Larry's NBA playing career was in Boston, his heart never left Indiana. He joined the Pacers and was the NBA Coach of the Year and the Executive of the Year, becoming the only person to win those two honors in addition to NBA MVP.
Larry Bird will always be one of the greatest players of all time and had a window that is almost unrivaled.
He became NBA Coach of the Year. He became NBA Executive of the Year. I believe if you look at all of those different honors and you look at first team All-NBA and you look at All-Star appearances and winner of the three-point contest in its initial stages, I don't think you'll find a more decorated person in NBA history than Larry Bird. He's done it all.
Now let's